Welcome to the Reading, Writing, and Compiling Showcase, featuring a collectively made multimedia publication with an array of creative writing, book forms, and performative readings by participants to encompass what they've learned over the course of their study. My name is Neta Bomani, and I stewarded the workshop series along with assistant teacher Kenlynn Albright and teachers Jie Qi, Natalie Freed, Yuchen Chang, Gabrielle Octavia Rucker, and Kameelah Janan Rasheed. Tonight, we'll be seeing works by the following participants: Andrew Tan Tuck Ming, Ayana Zaire Cotton, Derek Lopez Vergara, Dia Flood, Elizabeth Ellis, Hina Sharma, Kenlynn Albright, Maria Tomness, Monica Mopatra, and Stephanie Wu. Let's begin by looking at the grammar of the three words, reading, writing, and compiling. The suffix ing makes these three words function as present participles alongside the parts of speech classified as verbs, nouns, or gerunds, which are verbs that function both as nouns and verbs that precede them. For example, the gerund read precedes the suffix ing to form reading. In a vernacular sense, ing says action, signifying a happening, that something is ongoing or in process. For our purposes throughout the workshop series, we've been concerned with engaging in the doing of these things as a way of actively thinking about these words. In other words, reading, writing, and compiling haven't just been our objects of study, they've been things that we do. What does it mean to read, write, or compile? According to the online etymology dictionary, reading means to explain, to learn through reading, to put in order. Writing means to score, outline, draw the figure of, scratch, or mark. Compiling means to collect and present information from authentic sources, or to make or form something like a list, report, or book by putting together in some order written or printed material from various sources. These words have evolved past their origins and all exist in various degrees of commonalities within our current vernacular. Compiling is somewhat easy to address first because the vocabulary seems to be phased out entirely with the exception of niche groups, specifically in tech circles among software programmers, engineers, and people who work closely with computers that compile or convert programs into code that machines can understand. Perhaps the work of compiling has shifted towards the lexicon of archiving. Reading and writing, on the other hand, have a gradation of different vernacular meanings, like a read, or when a person tells someone else about themselves, mostly used in queer Black communities. For example, that was a read, honey. I will read your ass. Ooh, they read you for filth. Or to be left on read, when someone doesn't get a text back. For example, let's say a cis man sends a text, hey, what's up? To which a non-cis man doesn't reply with a read receipt delivered that says, read at 2:30 p.m. Writing, on the other hand, happens in very specific vernacular contexts. Maybe you still write your friends letters, or perhaps you have a writer friend who you might understand is writing something, maybe a book, maybe poetry, who knows, but they're writing and seem to be having a difficult time with it beyond what you can comprehend, unless you're the writer friend. Outside of being a writer or being in close proximity to a writer, you might not normally speak in terms of writing. For example, most people don't say, I'll write you a text, or I wrote this person a text. They'll say, I sent a text, or do you want to read this text I sent? The way that we talk about reading, writing, and compiling can help us understand the possibilities of reading, writing, and compiling. So, what can we read, write, and compile normally? Articles, essays, poetry, books, exams, the list goes on. But what else can we read, write, and compile non-normatively that isn't immediately obvious to us, perhaps implicitly, subliminally, or maybe even explicitly or experimentally? Let's look to the participants of reading, writing, and compiling for inspiration. Andrew Tan Tuck Ming is an essayist, poet, and researcher living in Iowa City, Iowa. His work is interested in borders and boundaries, especially the fray produced in processes of migration, digitalization, or compression.
This is a spam book zine. Spam as an internet spam. as in the junk email that accumulates in a folder outside your inbox. In its digital usage, spam has become a byword for all that is ubiquitous and unsolicited, stray messages that attempt to appeal or induce or entice. The zine materializes spam as a concept by converting materials I've been collecting over the course of a week in August. These fragments of things that seem to be trying to engage me in some project, commercial, corporate, local, global, acting as non-human lure. First, these messages I've received both in my mailbox and randomly printed out of my printer about my internet service and the networks that are around me. Burger King coupons that I've been using that I received earlier this summer. The tail ends of receipts from CVS and Walgreens hawking surveys. Items on sale at a local grocery store. Some spam emails I've received recently about personal finance. On the left, an email from Personal Loan Pro. And on the right, an invitation for a money-making scheme by someone named Mr. Joseph Slim. And then some dead leaves I found in my mailbox after my landlord suddenly cut down the tree outside of my apartment. The zine itself is folded out of a supermarket coupon sheet. Each pocket of the zine represents 1 day's worth of spam.
Ayana Zaire Cotton is an artist, archivist, writer, and software engineer engaged in a transdisciplinary practice that can be described as weaving.
The middle class and working poor live in gated neighborhoods where they fend off the homeless with guns and walls. In her new role, Tubman assumed leadership of a secret military mission in South Carolina's Low Country. She had a dream of an angry woman coming towards me with a mountain floating behind her. Accepting her third Hugo, she told the audience in a winner's speech that went viral, "This has been a hard year, hasn't it? A few hard years. Global warming has brought drought and rising seawater. Pharmaceutical companies have created smart drugs, which boost mental performance, and pyro, a pill that gives those who take it sexual pleasure from arson."
Derek Lopez Vergara is a graphic designer based in Mexico City. He is interested in communication through printed and digital media.
By flipping through these paper cutouts, a series of geometric compositions becomes visible in every spread. The form and configuration of each one is imprinted on the reader's eye by the act of flattening, rearranging pages, and choosing whether to focus on the black or white shapes. Geometry seemingly simplifies the nuances and complexities of communication, but as with language, the intention to convey meaning escapes the emitter's will and is subject to the system of interpretation. The outline shapes printed here illustrate every possible configuration as they exist right now, bounded and recorded. But by folding or tearing one piece of paper, a whole set of transformations can occur, from a flat surface to a three-dimensional body, from a dormant form to an active shape.
Dia Flood is an artist and film photographer interested in transmedia work and is a forever student of Black, Indigenous traditional birth work. Elizabeth Ellis is an artist, graphic designer, and arts organizer. Her practice explores the poetics of listening, collectivity, and participation, and reading, the garden, color, weather, and fermentation. Hina Sharma is a community organizer, writer, youth worker, and facilitator. Currently, they have been thinking a lot about how audio, podcasts, and oral histories can be used to politicize communities, especially in her community organizing work during survivor participatory defense campaigns. Hina is interested in expanding skills and being able to creatively bring in more folks through different artistic mediums. Kenlynn Albright is a creative sound designer and paper enthusiast currently based in the Midwest. Her work centers around music as a vehicle for processing personal histories and imagining future memories. Through sound, collage, and zine work, she aims to also document music sampling as archival material to preserve history and culture. She is the July-August artist in residence with the Soup Bone Collective. She holds a Bachelor of Science in Marketing and a minor in Music as a driver of social change. Maria Thomas allegedly grew up between India, the so-called Middle East, and Michigan. She tries to rehearse abolition through her work in public health and as an artist, poet, and organizer. She is committed to consistently drawing the connections between the violence of policing and imperialism and teaching babies to question everything.
Hey Rufus, I'm going to show you a monster book I made. Okay, that's fine. This is a shimming monster, and this is a type of shimming monster. And this is also a type of shimming monster, and this is a rocket. And this is a cupcake laser monster because these are cupcakes. And this is lasers. And this is a monster, and this is poison blasters with bombs in them.
Uh-oh.
And this is part of the monster. And
What are those guys?
these, this is a BB monster.
And what's that thing on top?
Here's an idea.
Oh, okay.
This is a light bulb.
Okay. What's his idea?
His idea is to get these guys out of the portal.
Can I see the guys next to the portal? Ooh. What's happening there?
This is a black hole combined with a super portal. And this is this guy's dad. And they're saying, ah!
Okay. Did they make it out of there?
Yep.
Yay.
This guy helped him. This guy helped him.
The guy with the idea.
Yep.
Okay.
And this guy, he was a bad guy that made the super portal
Okay.
combined with the black hole. And he's saying, oh.
Is it because he's mad that they escaped out of the portal? Yeah.
And this guy is another type of shimming monster.
Where is he hanging out?
On the rainbow.
Of course he is.
And this is a love monster. It's a fold-up surprise.
Surprise! Okay, and can I see who made the book? Let's see the picture on the back. Ta-da! Alright. Zips, can you just move your hand? Okay.
Monica Mopatra produces and makes zines. She is learning to make offline and online zines as well as animate. Currently, Mon is working on a body of work focusing on flags. Mon specifically organizes around getting people out of jails and prisons. A lot of her work also looks at disability. Stephanie Wu is a cultural worker seeking to craft a practice that is rooted in cultivating love. We invite you to consider the following prompts as offerings to begin your own reading, writing, and compiling journey. Make an effort to read outside of what's quote-unquote normally accepted or practiced. You can try reading out loud with a loved one and or a pet companion. Read out loud to yourself. Read a sentence, then talk about it immediately after with someone else or even yourself. Read with the intention of not finishing a text. Read something that isn't normally read like a book. This can be a receipt, a cereal box, street signs, or more. Read simply for the sake of reading or practicing reading. Go through your text messages, letters, computer folders, notes, favorite books, or texts and find 10 random words. Don't think about it too much. Write them down. Make a new sentence or text composition from those 10 words. Repeat this process until you've written something you're interested in. Do the same process for images and compile them together. Thank you for watching and listening.
We are hooked on phonics. We are learning to read.
This is the best class I've ever had in my life. It has to be due to Hooked on Phonics. The best investment you could make would be to buy this program. There is no better way to learn, and it's the best investment you will ever make.
We are hooked on phonics.
Call 1-800-ABCDEFG.